Hi Pisces, welcome to your love reading for May 2019. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. I've already shuffled the deck, so let's go ahead and begin. This is for confirmation, but first let's get you 9 cards from this deck. This is the love reading for the sign of Pisces for May 2019. The first card that you have, Pisces, is the Wheel. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. King of Coins. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. 10 of Coins. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. Knight of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. 8 of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. The Hangman. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. You have the King of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. Page of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Pisces for May. And you have the Chariot. What's the most important thing that Pisces needs to hear about their love life for May 2019? The message that you have, Pisces, is the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups can definitely be you celebrating some type of positive new development. This can be a new relationship. Maybe you're getting back together with someone. This just means joy, laughter, celebration. Of course, it can also represent marriage or even the birth of a child. So we'll come back to this card in a minute to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. And let's go ahead and begin. Let's start at the top. You have the Wheel, the King of Coins, and the 10 of Coins. So the Wheel is telling me there is a lot of movement around you. The Wheel always means that things are changing for the better. So for some of you, if you are involved with someone who is an earth sign, because we have the King of Coins, this is especially speaking to you. The King of Coins would be someone who is a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can also represent you if you have a moon or rising and an earth sign. There's a lot of positive change here. Again, if you're struggling, this means that things are changing for the better. But to me, the Wheel of Fortune also represents that this is a very lucky time for you. So perhaps for those of you who are single, this can be, again, tying in with the main energy, this can be a time of celebration. This can be a time of finding love. The wheel is turning for you. Things are changing for the better. I do see a relationship here. So again, for those of you who are single, this could be that you're meeting someone where this is going to be a significant relationship. This is a card of commitment, stability, even marriage. But for those of you who are already coupled, and again, maybe you're watching this because you are struggling in your relationship and you don't know if things are going to work out. I do see things getting better here, and I do see a sense of stability. And for some of you, it can be with someone who is an earth sign, but they don't have to be an earth sign. This can just be maybe the energy that they're in. There is a sense of stability around you for the month of May, and perhaps a long-term relationship. Now, in the second row, we have the Knight of Wands, the 8 of Swords, and the Hangman. So you have stuck energy right here. It's both of these cards represent that there's a relationship around you it's like things are not moving forward. Now, the Hangman, this is a major arcana, so it's something significant. Like maybe you've been dating someone for quite some time, for years, and there's still no commitment. Although I see commitment here, it could be that things are slowly happening for you. The Hangman just means that you're stuck, you're in limbo, and you're not moving forward as far as your love life. You also have the 8 of Swords, which is kind of the same message. Someone feels stuck, someone feels trapped. Keep in mind with the 8 of Swords, no one is really stuck. It's just fear that's holding someone back. So it can definitely be for some of you if you're struggling in a relationship, or maybe someone is not committing to you. You could be in limbo because someone is allowing fear to get the best of them. The 8 of Swords always means that someone is being held back by fear. They're in a mental prison. Now here, I feel like for some of you, you refuse to give up on someone. You have the Knight of Wands. This is an energy of refusing to back down. The Knight of Wands is a very fiery energy of self-confidence and determination to succeed. So either you're refusing to give up on a relationship where you're just in limbo and you're not moving forward, or you're refusing to give up on a relationship where someone is just really given into fear and they're holding back from you. Or, usually with the 8 of Swords, you also feel like you can't do things. You feel like your hands are tied behind your back. Maybe you don't know how to fix a relationship. Maybe you don't know how to fix a marriage. Again, many of you are refusing to give up, and if you are thinking of giving up, the Knight of Wands is suggesting that you not do that. This is a card of continuing to move forward and being very self-confident in going after what you want, and this is what you want. You have the 3 of Cups. the month of May can bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of love, and you can be celebrating something really positive. And it seems like it could be a relationship where there's just stuck energy. 8 of Swords and the Hangman. Now down here, you've got a fire sign. So this would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. For those who are single, this can be someone that you're meeting, someone that you're connecting with, because you do have the Page of Cups next to it. The Page of Cups can definitely be a new relationship coming into your life. It can even be rekindling a relationship with a fire sign. Now, for many of you, let's just start with those who are single. If you meet a fire sign in the month of May, there is a strong emotional connection here. And the Chariot means that this will be a successful relationship. This is a sense of victory with the Chariot. If you're already coupled with someone, your partner could be the fire sign, or you may have a moon or rising in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Also with this King of Wands, sometimes it's just leadership. Considering that you have the Knight of Wands here, for those of you where maybe you're stuck in a relationship, things are not moving forward. 8 of Swords and the Hangman. You're stuck. You're in limbo. Someone maybe is letting fear get in the way. With this being here, lined up with the King of Wands, if there is no fire sign in your relationship, this could be you taking the lead, making things happen. The Page of Cups can also represent communication, emotional communication. Maybe you really need to let your partner know how you're feeling, because the Page of Cups is all about feelings. And then you have the Chariot. This is victory. This is you also being in the driver's seat. So this card ties in with this one. For many of you, there can be a relationship because you refuse to give up. You refuse to back down. The Chariot is victory because of determination, because of patience, and because you're staying in the driver's seat. Again, this ties in with everything that we see here. So again, it could be somebody new for those who are single. It can be you reconnecting with someone from the past, or you're just taking the lead and refusing to give up in a relationship where things are just not moving forward. Okay, let's get a few more. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? You have the Queen of Cups, so this would be your energy because you're a water sign. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? You have the 8 of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? And you have the 5 of Cups. So let's just start for those of you where this is you. You may also have a partner who's either another Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer. But for many of you, you are the Queen of Cups because Pisces is a water sign. For many of you, you might be really heartbroken because somebody has walked away. You have the goodbye card here. This is someone who chose to move on because they were no longer happy. Someone who walked away. And there is a lot of unhappiness here. Now, this can be you. Let me just start. It's hard to say in a general reading because it's for thousands of people. For many of you, you could be heartbroken that somebody left your life. This is sadness and tears. But for me, this also is a card of regrets. If somebody left your life, if somebody walked out on you, maybe you're watching this because there's been a breakup. This can definitely be someone who looks back and regrets the decision that they made, especially because it came right after this energy of goodbye. This is a card of regrets and just, dwelling on a loss. So for some of you, it could be that someone made a mistake. Someone chose to walk away and now they're regretting it. But for some of you, it can be you. There's a sense of sadness over maybe a relationship not working out. The 5 of Cups can also just be that you're disappointed with how something is going. You're disappointed that someone is not who you wanted them to be. But there is a sense of sadness here as far as a goodbye. Keep in mind the 8 of Cups can also be that emotional baggage has to be left in the past. You have to move on maybe from struggles. Maybe that's what's keeping a relationship stuck. You keep focusing on what happened in the past and it's making everybody unhappy. Okay, let's get some cards from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? You have the Magician. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? You have the World. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for May? And the 9 of Swords. What's the most important message that Pisces needs to hear about their love life for May 2019? You have the 7 of Pentacles. This is telling you to really take your time in making a decision. For some of you, you could be making a decision as far as, are you going to stick around in a relationship or in a marriage where everything is just stuck, everything's in limbo. It could be maybe you are deciding to leave a relationship or a marriage. Either way, the 7 of Pentacles is saying that you will be making some decisions, but this is usually an energy of taking your time and looking at things very carefully. Weigh the pros and cons of staying in a relationship or leaving a relationship, or accepting somebody new into your life. This is just choices, weighing the pros and cons, weighing your options. You have options. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at these last 3 cards that I pulled. Now it's interesting that we have the Magician here, because the Magician ties in with the other cards that we have here, like the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. I feel like you have a lot of say in what happens in your love life in the month of May, because these are all very empowering energies. Remember, the King of Wands is taking the lead. This is very self-confident energy, going after what you want. Same energy as a Knight of Wands, refusing to back down. And the Magician is all about manifesting. This is all about you creating your own reality. So you have to be empowered in the month of May. Also ties in with the Chariot. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, the Chariot is saying you can succeed. There can be a victory, but you need to stay in control. Again, tying in with the Magician. It is definitely a time for new beginnings. I mean, keep in mind the world does represent endings and closing the door to an old chapter, but it also represents new beginnings. So for some of you, it's just time to leave the past in the past. Maybe you're not leaving a relationship or a marriage, but maybe it's just time to say goodbye to the drama or to the same arguments. It's time for a new cycle for you, but you're responsible for this. You have the Magician. You're the one who's going to make this new beginning happen for you, or this new cycle, or you're the one who's going to close the door to the past. But there's fear here. You have the Nine of Swords. Maybe you're worried about what will happen if you do move on. Maybe you're worried about what the new cycle will bring for you or for your marriage. The Nine of Swords is always imagining the worst, but keep in mind it's worry without merit. So whatever it is that you're fearing or whatever it is that you're worried about, it's not going to happen. But there's definitely also, let me just say, because you have the 8 and the 9 of Swords right next to each other, if you're in a relationship where someone is just very fear-based and they're holding back from you, they're refusing to move forward, because you also have the Hangman, it can definitely be that in the month of May, I mean, that, you're finally putting an end to this cycle, this vicious cycle of fear and holding back. But it could be that you have to take control, because it's not just a Magician. You also have the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands and the Chariot. The month of May is very important for you as far as what you're going to do to make this happen, which is you being extremely happy, you celebrating, you bringing love and happiness back into your life. You do have choices, and you have to be very careful as far as what you're going to choose or who you're going to choose. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me get these out of the way. And as always with the X spread, it can be someone that you had a long-term relationship with, but it can also be someone maybe that you just dated, someone that you were involved with, and you just want to know if you're going to hear from them again or if there's still a chance. Okay, I dropped a few cards. Let me just pick these up. It was more than one, so I'm going to go ahead and put these back. These were from the X spread. Show us the energies around Pisces and their ex for the month of May. You have the Two of Cups, Pisces and their ex for the month of May. Six of Swords, Pisces and their ex for the month of May. Knight of Swords, Pisces and their ex for the month of May. Ace of Wands, Pisces and their ex for the month of May. Ten of Cups, Pisces and their ex for the month of May. And the Four of Swords. So amazing. I mean, we're asking about a relationship that is over. This is an ex, someone who's no longer in your life. And look at the cards that I've pulled for you. I do see, that someone needs some space here. You have the Four of Swords. This one really stands out because all of these cards are positive. The Four of Swords does mean that your ex needs some time to think, maybe even to heal. Sometimes the Four of Swords does mean that someone needs to heal, but it usually means they just have a lot on their mind. Keep in mind that I only pulled 6 cards, and 3 of them are swords. The swords represent the mind, thinking, thoughts. Your ex has a lot on their mind. So definitely for the Four of Swords, for most of you, this is like give them some time and some space to figure things out. But you also have the Two of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. So, I mean, you're starting with the Two of Cups. This is a soulmate card. So this is telling you that the connection that you had with your ex is still there. The Two of Cups, again, is that it's an emotional bond. And again, is this typically this is a soulmate card. This is a person you have a very close emotional connection to, almost kind of like, you know, a twin flame energy, or just a very karmic soulmate. You have a special bond with them. You also have the Six of Swords there, so this is movement. This is a healthy change in the relationship, because we did see a lot of kind of struggling energy in the first spread. Just one of them right here happened to be looking at the Five of Cups. There was tears, there was unhappiness, there was disappointment. Maybe your ex, you know, at the time wasn't, when you broke up, they weren't who you wanted them to be. Maybe they just walked away from you. You also had the Eight of Cups, someone that chose to move on. But you also had, you know, repeat energies like the Hangman and the Eight of Swords. There was something stuck as far as your relationship. The reason I'm showing you this is because the Six of Swords is saying that there's going to be a healthy change. You know, what, again, for whatever reasons you broke up, things are changing for the better. Though you'll be moving in a much better direction. The Six of Swords means that you're leaving an unhealthy situation behind you. Maybe you needed this time away from each other, because usually this card comes up when somebody just needs some, you know, they need to retreat a little bit. They need some time on their own to think, to heal, to reset. Things can change very unexpectedly for Pisces. You have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords can be, you know, a lot of movement and a lot of change that happens very unexpectedly. It can be that you and your ex are not talking, you're not communicating, you think they're gone, and then suddenly everything changes very quickly. The Knight of Swords is like the Tower. It's just, everything just comes out of nowhere, and it takes you completely by surprise. And you do have a new beginning here. You have the Ace of Wands. This is a very good card for those who are asking about an ex, because it's not just a new beginning, it is a clean slate. So you're not bringing the same old nonsense that, you know, you had in your previous relationship. You're not having the same issues, the same problems, the same drama. It's a clean slate, and you're able to start over again. This is a whole new life for you. All is forgiven, all is forgotten. You also have the Ten of Cups. You can be happy again. I mean, I feel like that is the most important thing that you need to hear from this card. It represents you being very emotionally fulfilled. And you also did have the Three of Cups as the main energy. Here it is. The Three of Cups was the main energy from the first spread. So you could be celebrating perhaps this reunion here, because the Ten of Cups is a happily ever after. For some of you, if maybe you were thinking about moving to the next level in your relationship, it can represent marriage. Maybe you broke up right before you got engaged or right before you got married. This can represent marriage. For many of you, it's just this is your happily ever after. There can be a new beginning. But again, the Four of Swords really stands out as, you know, someone needs some time to think. You did have the Seven of Pentacles. This was also the main energy from the confirmation deck. For some of you, it can be that maybe it's not you making a choice. Maybe it's not you being very careful. It could be your ex who is weighing maybe the pros and cons of getting back together with you. That's one thing that really stands out here, because the Four of Swords is there. With this energy, you don't want to make a mistake, so you're being very careful about what you're going to do next, where you're going to decide what's going to be your next plan of action. And again, with the Four of Swords, they need this time to figure that out. But with this, you know, the Six of Swords is saying there's something that's going to change in the relationship with your ex that will make it healthier. So if you feel like you had an unhealthy relationship, a lot of ups and downs, and you feel like everything was all over the place, things will be healthier. Let me get a few more for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces about their ex for the month of May? You have the Fool. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces about their ex for the month of May? King of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces for the month of May? The Chariot, which is a repeat card because it was in the first spread. What other messages are there for the sign of Pisces about their ex for May? And the Tower. Okay, so I just told you that the Knight of Swords is like the Tower, and then we pulled the Tower. So there's very unpredictable energy around the situation with your ex. The Tower can mean that there is, you know, a very shocking twist to your relationship. Again, it could be that, again, it's over and you think they're not going to return, and then suddenly everything changes. Because you have two new beginnings here, the Fool and the Ace of Wands. The Fool is telling you that, yes, they can return, but there are no guarantees with the Fool. I mean, this is usually telling you that you're going to have to trust your heart and your intuition. But Pisces is a very intuitive sign. So you will know if you're meant to take this person back or not. And again, that could be what we were seeing here. Maybe you will be weighing the pros and cons as far as, do you want to take this person back? But the Fool does represent a new beginning. New beginning here, new beginning here. And of course, you're perhaps the one who's choosing this new beginning. For those of you that have an ex who is also a water sign, this represents their energy. Again, it could be another Pisces, but it can be a Scorpio or a Cancer. And the Chariot, I mean, this is a repeat card because it was in the first spread that I did for you. So this is movement around the relationship with your ex. Here it is. This is from the first spread that I did for you. Chariot here, Chariot here. There is a lot of movement, but the Chariot does mean that you have to stay in control. Keep in mind, that was a message that was all over the place in the first spread. It came up from the Magician, the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands. There's a need for you to stay in control. Don't lose it, Pisces, because this is telling you, if you want this victory, you're going to have to stay in the driver's seat. You're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to be determined. And if you do that, you're going to be very surprised as far as what the outcome is here with the Tower. Keep in mind, the Tower can also be just very unexpected news or a very shocking confession. It could be that you hear that they still love you, or they never wanted to break up with you. Because remember that you did have the Five of Cups, and I told you sometimes this card does represent regrets. Maybe someone broke up with you, and they're regretting their decision here with the Five of Cups. I feel like for many of you that where you had an ex who broke up with you, some of you could be feeling very surprised as far as something that happens in the month of May. I know I'm posting this reading late, so this can manifest in the next few weeks, but this can even happen sometime, perhaps even in early June. Okay, Pisces, this has been your love reading for May 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.